So I just watched the celebration of life for Cheslie Kryst, Miss USA 2019, I believe. And I, since, the news broke about her committing suicide a few weeks ago, it's just been really hard for me to wrap my mind around, I am one who I always try to be proper and use, certain language and stuff like that. But that was one when I read the news, I actually cussed out loud. And that's how my husband knew something is not right, when I saw the news break, because it was just so shocking. But I think, over the weeks, as I've reflected on this whole thing and even watching the people give tributes and stuff like that the past hour and a half while watching the celebration of life, is certain things have just been running through my mind. One is, we don't look like what we're going through. I've been seeing Cheslie on Extra recently, and she just looks so happy, so bubbly, gorgeous woman, such a beautiful woman, of course, and she seems like she has such a wonderful personality. I used to be in pageants, and I never crossed paths with Cheslie, or anything during her reign, but you could just see her light shining through the screen. From the moment I watched her get crowned as Miss USA and all that good stuff, and her just doing a lot of hosting, seeing her on social media, and she just looked so bubbly, full of life, like she's got it all. And it just shows that we don't look like what we're going through. That's something we have to remember. The pageant world is rough. A couple months ago, I attended the Miss USA 2021 pageant in Tulsa, Oklahoma with my husband. And I'm just watching and I'm like, gosh, I can't believe I was part of this crazy world, which was awesome. But man, the scrutiny that it comes with, I remember the first pageant I won, the first one I competed in. I was the shortest girl, and I won it. And so you get to see, after winning, you worked so hard, and then you're seeing criticism like, oh, you're too short to win, you're too this, you're too dark, you're too, all these different things. And I went on to compete in many more pageants, and just you constantly get criticism, sadly, whether you're too thick or you're too skinny. It's just, unfortunately, it's inevitable, which is a sad thing that's bound to happen. But as I look back and I'm just like, wow, she looked so happy. And, something over the years that I've seen friends struggle, I've struggled with depression for many years on and off and all that stuff. So sadly, I can't say, oh man, I would never get to that space of thinking that. But sadly, I know I've gotten there before. And of course, my faith in God has kept me going and seeking counsel. As Black people, we make fun of therapy, but I'm someone who's done therapy and counseling 3 times, and I know that there's a lot of benefit in it. Yes, I'm a believer. Yes, I'm a Christian, but therapy is a wonderful thing. God gives wisdom to these people as well to help us out to navigate through these hard times as well. So I highly recommend it. But it's just, suicide's a hard thing. One of my roommates in college committed suicide about a year after we had graduated. And then I had another close friend whom we were childhood friends up to after college and all that stuff, still kept in touch. And he committed suicide 2 years ago. And so suicide is just something that's really tough for me. And it breaks my heart that has to happen. But it goes to show that people don't look like what they're going through. We're struggling, and we need to seek help. It's hard, That's why, I keep seeing these, check on your strong friends and all that. It's true, because they're thinking, I can navigate through this. I know when I go through depression and all that, I just kind of isolate. Even though I'll get help at some point, but initially I isolate and just say, I'll just busy myself through this. I'll work through this. So I highly encourage you to keep going. If you're going through depression, anxiety, whatever it may be right now, get help. Whether that's professional help, faith help, whatever it may be, talk about it. You don't have to be strong all the time. It's okay to be vulnerable. Get help. You're loved. You're needed. Okay? All right.